What is going on out there in Gauche land? Can you hear me out there? If you can hear me, press some ones in that chat. I'd like to make sure that everything's working okay this evening. Had some slight technical difficulties, but I think we got it ironed out. So let's rock this thing like a hurricane. Come on, let's see some ones. No pun intended, because we had a bad hurricane last week, guys. So let's see some ones. Come on, let's see them. We're gonna be talking about some things today. Superman, Henry Cavill making a return. Could be pretty cool. If you like what you see today, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. We want to get this channel growing, get this video out there. And of course, if you want to see more content, hit that notification bell, which alerts you to the newest stuff coming out to you. Don't forget, we do have that link tree, the Linktree link. Allow myself to introduce myself. That's twice now. I had to do that today. But yes, we are taking. We got the community link there for Telegram. As well as if you participate in donations through Stream Elements, I have it integrated into our stream tool, so it will appear. Any new subscribers, donations will pop up now. So I'm going to try to experiment with that a little bit today. All right. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the introduction. And we're going to meet you on the other side with some special guests. We'll see you in a moment. All right, guys, welcome once again to the Gauche. Glad we can see your wonderful, well, names. I'd say faces, but I can't really see your faces. I'd be lying. As you can see, we're kind of decked out in our superhero stuffs. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys to our wonderful hosts, or I should say co-hosts of our show today. Our honorable guests of Gauche. Let's start it off with Max. Welcome to the show. Yay.
Hey, Zaiden. How's it going?
Fantabulous. Thank you so much.
I love your graphics. I love seeing Black Adam and Superman. It's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to start talking about this. And of course, we have our wonderful Gina in the house, my wonderful wife, Wonder Woman wife. As you can see, she's decked out as well. In some Wonder Woman gear.
Yeah. Wonder Woman for my Superman.
Yeah,
hey, everybody out there. And yes, super job. He surprised me too with that clip. So.
Yeah, why do I always get blushy whenever she talks about our awesomeness? I don't get it. It's just me.
Because you guys are adorable. Come on.
Stinking cute. All right, so we also have Jules in the house. Let me make sure, see if this works or not. Jules, go ahead and say hi.
Everybody.
Can everybody hear? No?
Wait,
Not
no.
yet? All right. Stand by. I have to join audio. Duh. Try again. Say hello.
Hey, everybody.
There we go. All right.
Hey, Jules.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Glad we at least get to hear you. I know we were trying to get the visual, but there's still good news that we got this much contact with you.
Yes, and I greatly appreciate you guys doing this for me tonight. I obviously don't have any internet. The power did come back on today. I am in the house. But before...
Praise God. Yay.
All right. That's good news.
Yeah. And Zaiden, before I address some serious issues, I would like to say some thank yous, if that's okay with you.
That's absolutely fine.
Okay. First off, to you and Gina, again, my heartfelt thanks for everything that you did for me last week. I would not have made it through the week or made it home if it wasn't for you guys. So I am eternally grateful and blessed with your friendship. Next, I need to say thank you. I've received quite a few cash apps, and I have not been able to respond because I have no internet service. So I don't know if these people are watching the stream or not, but I want to say thank you to Emily, Lewis, of course, Amy, Cassie, Marcella, Brandon, our Dragonfly, Jennifer, Mike, and Mara, Keith, Mike, and Mara. Once I have internet service, I will get with you personally. I need to give a special shout out to Keith. That man, he has been emotionally supportive of me, for me, since I got back to the house. If you haven't gone through this, you really don't understand what it's about. And Keith gets it. He understands it. And Keith, I'm also eternally grateful for your friendship as well. I love you, buddy.
Oh.
I hope I didn't forget anybody, because this is kind of stressful, and so please accept my apologies if I have forgotten anyone. It's not intentional. Given that, I have Cassie and Paige. Oh God, my head. And even Andy as well. And I'll get to that. But this is an issue I want to address. I have some anger built up in me because of some things that have been said in regards to what is happening here. First off, when you hear someone say that there's no traffic going on, that's a lie, okay? Traffic, it's an hour and a half drive from Tampa. It took me over 5 hours to get here on Wednesday.
Wow.
Traffic, it was horrendous on Wednesday. Traffic down here continues to be horrendous. There are no traffic lights. We do have some traffic lights working now, but most traffic lights are still not operable. Everything is a four-way stop. You've got people that have gone back to work, but you have other people that don't have jobs to go back to. This is a really serious situation going on down here. I have talked to numerous people. I have taken a bunch of pictures as well. This is not,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you guys about me. This is not just about me. This story is about a community of people that are really hurting and really suffering right now. I'll give you a few examples. I have one friend, her name is Stevie. I had the pleasure of speaking with her yesterday. She lost everything except for 2 totes that she was able to fill with salvageable personal items. That's all she has. I'm blessed. She's got nothing. My other friend Terry, who let me stay at her house while I was back home because I had no power and she did not want me staying in the house, and she had a generator, and she said, no, you and Frankie come here. She lost her car, her family car, in a flood. Okay, she has 5 children, and now she doesn't have a car. Yes, she has a house. Yes, she had some damage. She didn't lose a lot, but that car gets her to and from work every day to help support those 5 kids. These are people I know, okay? I personally know. We're trying to work together on a barter system, so to speak. I'm the only one with a working car until tonight, that is, and that's another story in itself. I'm not even going to get into it. My neighbor on the corner, 4 houses down, a beautiful Hispanic family, lost their entire house. 4 doors down in the other direction, another one of my neighbors, the entire top of his house is sheared off. My other neighbor, 2 doors down, an elderly man that lives alone, was flooded. He has no help. He does not have tiles in his house. His house was fully carpeted. He's still sitting in there with soaked carpeting that needs to be pulled. The insurance company was there yesterday and told him it's unsafe. He has to leave. He's elderly. He has no family. He has nowhere to go. He's refusing to leave. I got 2 of my biker friends today to go over there to pull that carpet out for him and to help him dry out. These are real people, and I'm angry and I'm upset because people that don't live here, that aren't even in the United States, have no idea what's happening here. And until you're here and you are experiencing this, whether it's a little bit or a lot, please be careful with your words and what you say, because it has long-term effects on everyone.
Thank you, Jules.
I'm sorry, Zaiden.
No, that's fine. No, this definitely needed to be said. I just want to make sure that we cover. I mean, we were looking to cover everything you were going to send us for all the videos as well. I did, of course, we were going to send all that information over to Nerd Report, but you gave us some pretty interesting insight as to what you had to go through when you first got down there. When you first got to your home, right? So you went there, and then you went, I mean, you were in your flip-flops, right? So you were in your flip-flops going through your home, and then you went from there to your neighbors and started checking on people and interviewing people. Is that right?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
And I was overwhelmed when I got here and when I saw the water, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this right now. And I left. And yes, I spoke with my neighbors, the Hispanic family that I spoke about on the corner.
Right.
There's one family member that does speak English, and she did a lot of translating. I've got her on video telling their story, what it was like going through the hurricane. I have 3 small children on video with the parents' permission to tell what it was like for these 3 little kids that were locked in a closet, okay, during a storm. I have another elderly gentleman, one of my neighbors on the other side of the street on the corner. He told his story. He also said, Julie, you don't have any power. I have a generator. You could come and stay the night and have a shower if you'd like. We really don't know each other, okay? That was the first time I met that man. The first time. An elderly man outside cutting up his tree limbs from the trees that have fallen. I talked to the linemen. I have them on video. And that's another thing that needs to be addressed. People that complain, what's taking so long for the power? People complaining, saying, oh, I see their trucks, they're parked on the side of the road, just sitting there, or they're all in the Walmart parking lot, or they're all at the mall. They're doing that. No, that's wrong. They are working 16-hour shifts, but really, they're working around the clock. The trucks that you see parked are staging areas. And when they're done with their shifts, they go to the staging area. The next crew goes out. These men and women need to eat and sleep. They've come from all over the country to help us. So people need to be patient. I didn't like being out of my home for a week. And when I got here, I didn't like still not having power. I only got my power on around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Thank God.
So I talked to them. I have some of the crew. Well, one crew member, the other 4, they're working the lines. But you know, he told the story. And this was his first hurricane he ever worked. He came from West Palm. I said, well, how are things looking? And he said, we got here last Wednesday. And from last Wednesday to this past Wednesday, he said, it looks a whole lot different compared to when we first rolled into town. So I went to my local biker bar. Yeah, bikers have bad reputations, but I'm going to tell you something. They're not bad people. These are my friends. And if one is in need, everybody is in need. And
We've
they
known
all
some good
come
bikers
together.
out there. They're not all bad, like some people may portray. But no, we hear you. So
Yeah, and I interviewed them, the owner of the bar. he opened his doors and gave out free food to everyone. When he had no power. I've talked to so many people that I know. Some people got away with no damage, and others took a total loss. I'm in a good spot. Yes, I've had some damage. With the kindness of what everyone has shown me, I think this is going to work out. Unfortunately, my landlord is not cooperating, and I'm not the only one in that position as well. And that's where Cassie, Paige, and Andy came into the picture today.
Now, that was our community Andy, or was that Andy Popcorn Planet Andy?
That's correct.
Our
yes.
Not Popcorn Planet Andy?
Yes. Popcorn Planet Andy, Andy Signor.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Personally called me today.
How awesome is that?
And, well,
I'm glad he did that.
To thank our Cassie, our wonderful Cassie for that. She helped put me in touch with Andy, and Andy called me. We had a great conversation. He gave me some great advice on how to deal with the situation with my landlord, because those of you that are not aware, my landlord took my rent money one day, and then the next day served me termination of lease notice and gave me 7 days to vacate my house. So that portion, I will be dealing with. I'm going to take Andy's advice. Cassie was reading over the legal documents. Paige's boyfriend's mother is a landlord in Northport. So Paige was going to get with her tonight, and we're going to find out. I did call the sheriff's department, and because I was not served by the sheriff's department, they said they're not going to do anything because she did not go through the court system.
Exactly.
And we are in a state of emergency, and you can't evict people in a state of emergency.
That's what's messed up. So, I mean, we knew this was going to happen with a lot of people in Florida like this. And Jules is unfortunately one of the people that got victimized by this. And we really feel for Jules on this because it's illegal for landlords to try to pull weight and say, oh, well, we can do whatever we want because we own all these homes and we have all this resource to do it. And the reality is there's a lot more legal, I would have to say, legal defense for the tenants in the state of Florida when it comes to especially national disasters or natural disasters like this. So I'm grateful that you're getting some support in this area, because legal parts of this can be very complex and intimidating.
No kidding.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it is. You're absolutely correct. And it could become very costly. But I'm going to stand my ground.
Yeah. We talked about this too before, where, we're either, I think it was called the Florida Bar, where you had to call in order to get appoint a lawyer to you or something like that. But you went through all this process already. Is that right?
Yeah.
I've only just begun.
Just begun.
Okay. This is the advice that Andy had given me, and that was to reach out to my landlord and not be angry and say, listen, you haven't sent anybody here to inspect the home. You want to remediate the issues here at the house. You've taken my rent money and you want me out. Well, now it's 5 days. What can we do to work together? Like, in other words, give her an opportunity to make this right, and I will work with her before. And I'm not the only one, but there's a lot of people that are going through what I'm going through, a lot. So before we go to the next step, which is going to be the news, Andy is already looking into that, but he wants me to do these steps first before calling her out. And then, you know, so once I see where that goes, and I have no internet service, so I can't even reach out to her. She's in Australia. Right. She's supposed to be flying in next Thursday.
So let me ask you a question. Does she not have at least a contact phone number to reach you, or how does that work? Can you at least contact through any form of like phone?
What she did was, on the prior to the storm, as you guys are aware, I let her know that Hurricane Ian was on its way, and she was like, "You'll be fine." I asked her about boarding up the house. She said no. And then 3 days after the storm, all of a sudden I get an email, and because we had service by you, Zaiden, I was able to get the email, and she said, "Oh, it's on the news. I need pictures. I need this. I need that." And I told her I'm not there. Once I get down, I'll do everything she requires me to do. So when I got here, I did everything she required me to do, but there's no service, so I can't get any of the information to her. On the 5th, she took my rent at 4:00 in the morning on October 6th. My phone rang. It was her. And that's when she told me she was terminating my lease and I had 7 days to vacate.
So let me ask this question, because you had you had a due date and then you had an agreed upon grace period because of the damages. She violated that. Is that correct?
Correct.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So there's two things going on here, right? So we got she violated her agreement for grace period. 2, she did not go through the legal process for evacuation or eviction rather. So this landlord really doesn't seem to know a whole lot about the process when it comes to natural disaster scenarios. That or she doesn't care.
Well, that's the thing.
Just saying.
That's the thing. Gee, I don't. Okay, I really believe, and there is quite a few of us in the community that are going through exactly what I'm going through, and we really believe that they want us out, so they'll come in, do whatever needs to be done in order to re-rent it and get much more money in the way of rent.
No, that just turns my stomach.
That's what I believe is happening here. I believe they are using the hurricane as their excuse to make more money.
That's just sickening. And that's what I feared, actually. I was hoping it would not come to that.
You said it.
There's a lot. Okay, look, in the business when it comes to real estate, there's a lot of greed, and I mean a lot. I've actually known a couple of people when I lived in Tennessee that was in real estate that really could care less about humanity and they only care about how much they're getting in their pocket out of a situation. We had a tornado scenario that took place in Tennessee at the time when I was living there, wiped out a couple of buildings. And there's somebody I knew there that said, oh, that's no big deal. A couple of damage there. We evict the guys and put them back in. We'll get probably twice as much money out of this. Based on insurance claims, on top of the money they get from insurance claims and the additional rent they would get from the next tenant. So there is a epidemic in this scenario, or in this situation. And I think you hit a really sensitive nail on the head here. So thank you for pointing that out, Jules.
I'm only pointing it out because it's happening to me and happening to other people. And the unfortunate thing is that because of the dire situation we are in here, we can't even unify because we don't have internet. Even cell phone service is still spotty at best. I mean, I've had to be 3 days in a row go to the disaster staging area to get my phone charged, to God, I can't even think. I apologize. To hook up to one of their drone Wi-Fi's just to try to get in touch with my bank. It's just been, there's a lot of people here that are helping one another, but we are in an age of technology that we all have become reliant on, and now that we don't have it, we're floundering.
A rude awakening, isn't it?
I don't know if anybody could understand that.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, especially, Jules, because you're one of many people, like you said, that are experiencing this issue. And when you have a community like this devastated by a natural disaster, it's hard to fathom that you can't use your own personal cell phone to collect any information as far as banking, go online, check check status of somebody, how they're doing. And you're limited to just basic phone calls, maybe lucky if you get a text. On top of that, you need power to be able to charge these devices. So if you have none of that, you're in the dark ages. And I think the biggest thing is it's hard to relate to individuals that are experiencing this because they haven't been in it, just like you said, Jules. So this really paints a big picture for everybody out there to really kind of get maybe of an understanding from your perspective. I mean, we have huge respect for what you're doing, number one. You are experiencing these issues firsthand. Two, you're taking the courage to actually go neighbor to neighbor, taking in on interviews, checking people to make sure they're okay. So you actually are going well above and beyond the normal capacity of what a human being should experience. So I put a little poll in the comments earlier to see whether or not you deserve a superhero award, and I know you're going to probably be too humble to take it, but you deserve it.
Well, no, I'm doing what you and Gina have done for me, what Keith has given me emotional support. I wouldn't have clothes had it not been for Gina's mother. People need to know these things. Because when I got to Tampa, I got there with the clothes on my back.
Right.
And so the clothing that Gina's mom was able to give me got me through that week. The showers that you provided me to be able to wash myself. The meals that Gina cooked. Okay, I only did what you did. Do you understand? I don't deserve anything for this.
So allow me to elaborate a little bit. It's natural for us to be that giving, so it's normal for us, right? So we declare that normal. What is above and beyond in this situation is if you're in a situation where you have like no electricity, no way of communication via internet, you're very limited on your means, yet you're still going out and to the community to help where you can. Where not many people would make that decision to do that, and I've noticed that there's there's a little bit of a divide there, which is unfortunate. But the good news out of all of this is there is a community out there like us, like Gina's mom, like you, that are willing to step up when it's needed. We need people like that in these communities now.
Yeah.
So.
And yes, and there is something else. There's two other things that I'd like to address.
Go for it.
We are, still under a curfew here. The curfew has been extended to October 17th. It was at 9 o'clock at night. However, they have extended it to 10 p.m. at night. There are very few businesses that are open. The big box stores like Walmart and Publix, yes, they are open. However, they have closed all of their entrances except for one. And we have the National Guard here, and there are 2 guards stationed outside the doors and 2 guards stationed inside the doors. Unfortunately, and this is gonna sound terrible, but it's the truth.
Yep.
People are stealing
Looters,
from the
right?
stores. Yes, and you go down the streets and you'll see some people with signs. You loot, we shoot.
Yeah, I remember seeing one of those pictures you sent.
It's not a good. It just isn't a good situation. My friend Stevie, that I told you that lost everything, she suffers from asthma really bad, and she ran out. Her inhaler ran out, and she didn't have any money to get her prescription filled. And I told her that as soon as that debit card arrives in the mail, and I hope that everyone that has helped me out financially will understand this, I can't let this woman go without her inhaler. And I promised her that as soon as the debit card came, that would be the first thing we would do, is go get her inhaler filled. But she's not the only one. There's so many people that are...
It's frustrating.
And so it's very frustrating. And any of the money, the donations that were ever so generously given to me, I am going to use to take care of what I need to take care of for myself. And hopefully I will not need an attorney to fight the landlord. But if there is any funds left over, I hope the community will understand that I would like to pay it forward to other people that I know truly are in need.
Amen.
Yeah, amen. I see it. Whether you see it as pay it forward or tithing, like the movie Pay It Forward, that's one of my favorites too. But it is so true. Whichever way you want to look at it or believe it, the 10 times in abundance. So it's just so more rewarding to give too. And when you're able to. So I wish we could even help more. But I think that's why we connect, because we have that kind of heart that we want to help others, and that has an effect on people. So thank you, Jules, for all that you're doing and putting together, and you're really touching people's lives and hearts, and
This is
staying strong,
so
sticking
important.
through it.
So important.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. There were moments in my private moments where I broke down, and I had the courage to reach out to Keith. You all know who that man is.
Shocking, isn't it?
And,
Yes.
I consider myself blessed to have him in my life. I bled to this man. He's the only one that understands because he went through Katrina.
Yeah.
Yep. He was talking about that before. Wow.
And he understands there's so many different emotions you go through. You go through self-pity. You go through anger, frustration, back to feeling sorry for yourself. Why did this happen to me? I mean, it's a never-ending emotional roller coaster. And if you don't, and if there is anybody that's watching tonight that is in Florida and is in this area or close to this area, and if you're experiencing what I am, reach out to someone. I reached out to Keith because I knew he would understand. And it's not easy, but I did get some decent news today. My landlord might not like the news I got, but I went ahead and contacted people that I knew, and Kevin and Jim showed up today. They will be back again tomorrow. They're cleaning up all the debris in the yard, front and back.
Now, elaborate a little bit. Who's Ken and Sharon
they're not
in this?
Electrical wires. They're
Right.
cable wires and internet wires or whatever, but they're not live wires.
Okay, that's good.
down,
Oh, that's great.
I was wondering
and they're
about.
going to
That's great
take
news.
care of that for me tomorrow. So I will pay them for their services for that. But Jim did come in to the house, and he said my walls are plaster. And in his opinion, even though he's not a professional, but he said, no, I do not think that you have any mold going on here. He told me
Good.
he told me what to buy, how to mix it, and how to sanitize the walls, the floors, everything that I need to do. And he told me to go and buy dehumidifiers, and put one in the living room area and my one in my bedroom, because those are the two rooms that were, the laundry room was hit really bad. But in any case, to suck out, and the water is out.
Good.
But there's still dampness. There's a horrific smell in here. It smells like a freaking dead body, and it's somewhere in my living room, and I cannot figure it out. But in any case, he said, get the dehumidifiers.
Yeah, if we could get that one, the other one down there, the fans and stuff. It wouldn't have fit in her car the other day, but I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, some extra fans, and plus they didn't have electricity yet, but now.
Yeah.
This would help. Absolutely.
Yeah, if we can get those.
Yeah. So, you know, to pull all the moisture out and get the moisture out of my mattress and out of my sofa, I did strip all the bedding in my room today and was keeping my fingers crossed that the washer and dryer would work. And unfortunately, no.
No, man.
Julie's got to find a working laundromat, and there is none. But yeah, the side door to the laundry room, that was a glass door, and it was shattered, and it flooded in there. And I guess from the washer and the dryer sitting in the water for I don't know how long, and it was approximately 8 inches deep, because you can tell by the watermarks. It didn't work tonight. Now I will try again tomorrow. Maybe it just needs another day or so to completely dry out. I mean, I'm not going to run out and buy a washer and dryer. I'm going to give it a few days and also put my feelers out to have a repairman come and get a professional opinion on it. And unfortunately, even though I have renter's insurance, when I was at the disaster center, you know, they had told me because and I might have to try to fight this as well. They told me, because I don't have flood insurance, that my personal possessions were not covered. Well, everybody that I talked to, even my neighbors, said this was not rising flood waters. They are all fighting with their insurance companies right now. I was in the insurance business for 20 years, so I know how the game works, and I knew to expect this. This did not come as a surprise to me. What came as a surprise was to the woman I was speaking to at the relief center when I said, no, it was not rising floodwaters. This was wind-driven rain.
Yep.
This is how the water came in. And she looked at me, and finally I said to her, I worked for Allstate for almost 20 years. She was like, well, then you should understand. I said, yes, I do understand. I understand completely. So my claim has been denied
Wow.
by Allstate.
You have to dispute it.
I am disputing it.
I never liked Allstate.
When I
I
get the
hate
second
to say
denial,
that.
and I will get a second denial, I promise you that. And then I can go to FEMA. But all of this is a process. It all takes time, you know.
A lot like medical insurance and disputing that. And then you have to keep fighting, but then eventually it'll get covered. If it's not covered on the first time, eventually it will. And so that's good that you have that background. There's a lot of people out there that don't even have that education on insurance because they've never worked in the field or had any other hands-on experience. So more power to you there.
They like to pull that card, and I know it firsthand, so I knew what to expect. She just didn't expect for me to come back at, especially using the term, wind-driven rain. Not many people know that term unless you're in the insurance business.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I'm going to say, I mean, the connections, the information you have there, if there's anybody out there also, if I can say this, that you know other foundations, whether they're dealing with stuff like she mentioned, the spray for the asthma, you know, there's different foundations that maybe they have donations of different canned foods or resources, medication or clothes. anybody out there knows any connections, I mean, and are happy to share it, I mean, that'd be great too. That's all part of the community too. Oh, I know somebody. I know a handyman that can help in this area. Yeah. So I know a mechanic. Hey, we're here to help each other. So if you guys know foundations and stuff, please share. If I can put that, I didn't really cross-reference confirm that, but yeah, that can be posted or shared in the other messages and stuff. We're here to help each other.
Right.
That's it. And you know, I'm and my apologies, Zaiden, for basically taking over your stream tonight. I know that this is a topic that you initially were planning on talking about.
We did lose Max. Sorry, Max, but we'll continue this.
For days, and I had no outlet, none, and I called you.
Julie, let me tell you right now, you are welcome. You're absolutely welcome. This definitely takes precedence. I'm also going to change my thumbnail because of the fact this is that important. It is that important to talk about. So I thank you.
Everybody talked about the hurricane is coming. The hurricane is coming.
This is so important.
Oh, the hurricane came, and this is what happened, and now we're no longer.
The media, everybody jets as soon as that storm's out. Weather Channel's moving on to the next. And it is like a done deal. All of a sudden, we just forgot about what happened in Florida. So, this is such a huge. I wouldn't be surprised if any news outlet picked this up or anybody else, because this needs, and I mean this, this story needs to be told. It needs to be told because of the importance of the aftermath effects that takes place with these huge, catastrophic hurricanes. And not only just because it's catastrophic, there's the legal process, the abuse that takes place onto insurance companies. But on the other side of that, the backlash is how people like Jules will get affected by that because of abusive nature. On top of that, we have looters. We have, I mean, the list goes on.
Scammers. We have scammers.
Yes.
That's another thing. People are coming in from out of state saying, give me such and such amount of money and I'll get your roof done.
Wow.
Or I'll do this. And they leave with the money, you know, and that's why with my neighbor, the elderly man that needs the carpet, you know, taken out, that's why I got my friends Kevin and Jim to go over there and talk to him, because I'm concerned that some unscrupulous person will take advantage of this elderly man. And these are stories. These are true stories, and they need to be told. You know what? It's no longer about what happened during the hurricane. Now it's about what's happening after the hurricane.
Yep.
So people watching around the world, who even caught that the president and governor did go visit this week? What was that, yesterday or the day before? You know, to how they usually do when something like this, a disaster hits, they'll go visit and make the appearance and check out everything. But it was like afterwards I'd even caught that they did visit. You don't get that in the news as
that
much.
just goes back. That goes back to Jules, because she doesn't have any access to this media information.
Yeah.
So there's no way she would have known. But what is the governor actually doing? What is now? I get it. The president will do as much as they can to release FEMA, those resources and some funds to help out with the, to alleviate some of the efforts. But it's so much more in depth than just that. And I think that's where the focus gets lost, especially in the political system. You have to get hands-on, feet on the ground, and really experience this if you really want to know how to help. So I cannot sit here and say our political systems are doing justly just by making us pit stop somewhere in like Clearwater or or somewhere where they can just easily lift off and go back home. I'm sorry. You have to go walk through the communities, actually see what's going on, and be able to take notes mentally, not just physically, but you personally taking mental notes of what's going on to know and understand these families, including Jules, are what they're going through. So if you want to make a change, go through these communities and make a full understanding to yourself of what is going on and what needs to change. So, again, going back to Jules, kind of, if you will, she's like in a way, a reporter on the field, but she's going through this personally, guys. So, thank you, Jules, for absolutely reporting on this. This is, I mean, really, this is personal.
Yeah, I can't wait to see when we're able to really get the videos and stuff that she's sending.
Yeah.
Because even that's with, sending stuff, it's not all coming through, and I didn't really get to see any of that yet. But I can't wait.
And like I said,
pictures.
I talked to people down, at the good old watering hole in town, and my friend Charles Knight, he not only sustained damage to his home, but he lost his business. I've got him on video. We talked about how his children fared through the storm. Another friend of mine, John DiMartino, he didn't have any damage, very little. However, he stated it scared him to death, and it's on video. You'll see it. He stated he will never stay for another hurricane. He just won't do that.
Do you mind me asking if that was his first hurricane?
He will never stay for another. He was
right,
here,
but that was his first, right? Is his first hurricane?
He left for Irma.
Charlie and Irma. Okay.
He stayed for Ian, and he said he will never stay again. His son John Jr. lives in Northport. He had some damage, but he had storm shutters. Storm shutters make such a difference. And John Jr. said, I slept through most of it. I was like, what?
Wow.
He said the storm shutters kind of insulated everything in the house. And he said there was only at one point, was it disruptive? He said, but, the storm shutters saved my house. But his road flooded, his driveway flooded. His vehicle was in the garage, so he did not lose his vehicle. Another friend, Kevin and his girlfriend, said they were scared to death because they literally was sitting in the living room and they can see the ceiling, the roof lifting up, and then slamming back down, and then lifting up. The roof never left, but just that experience alone scared the living daylights out of them. I can't even remember who else I spoke to. I spoke to so many people.
Yeah.
And it is, some
you
of them
took in a lot, Jules. I'm surprised you remember as much as you do. Right, there's going to be those people too, absolutely. But you went through a lot to be able to recall as much information as you did and tell us on live. It is just phenomenal. I would probably be beyond myself as to what to say. I'd have to make a whole notebook of what in the world to say. So honestly, your recollection of everything that's taken place so far has just been phenomenal, for one. Let alone everything else you've been through to be able to recall this. So again, You are a
But
wonderful
also,
person. That's all. I
Zaiden,
mean, that's
you
the minimum I
have
can
to
say.
remember that these are people that I know.
Right.
So, like when they saw me, and that's why you need to do editing, because there's a lot of things that need to be edited out. But when they saw me, they were like, Julie, what the, and da-da-da. And, there was some kibitzing back and forth, some laughter. It was good. It was actually good for the soul. It was good for all of us.
Yes.
That we did take some humor, but I said, I want to record this, I tell me, because I said, I left, but you stayed. So tell me what happened. And that's how, and so it was talking with people that I know, and that's why my recall is so good, with the exception of the lineman that I spoke with, and the people at the that are all set up at the mall, in the mall parking lot. Every insurance company that you could think of has a tent there. We've got people that brought their barbecues there, and they are cooking hamburgers and hot dogs all day long.
I've heard about this, where they're coming from out of the area to come in and actually do this. Is that right?
That is correct, and they are feeding us. There is a barbecue. Where is the card? I don't know what I did with the card. It's here somewhere. That came in, and if you call the number on the card in the morning, tell them how many is in your family, they will cook your meal and tell you what time to go to the relief center, and they will have it hot, packed, and ready for you to take it home.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases of water. That is in addition to the water that I got from you, Zaiden, and the water that I bought while I was in Tampa. And we got Terry and her family hooked up with water. And when I told one of the relief workers that I have a family that has 5 children, she's like, what? And I was like, yeah. I said, I was told that you have some granola bars. She said, open your trunk.
Wow.
I opened my trunk. She put 8 cases, not boxes, not a box of granola bars, cases, 8 cases.
Wow.
Of these assorted granola bars, and there was 12 boxes to a case. And she put them in my trunk, and I said, no, that you got to save for it. And she said, honey, just like that, honey, you see that trailer over there? And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, it's filled. You take these to those children. We have more coming. When that trailer's empty, we have another trailer come. Take them to the children.
Wow, that just touches the heart.
And then, of course, when I came home with, I think I brought 4 boxes home for myself. Not cases, just boxes. Yes, 4 boxes. Yes.
I did see something on the news that I think it was for the animals, the different animal shelters and stuff, that they got so many donations, probably of food and carriers and what have you, that they had to rent an extra U-Haul to get this stuff down to some of the vets, pet places down there. So I thought that was good that enough people were donating in support in those areas. But there's so much. We need more.
I didn't see anything at the relief center. So they probably went to the actual shelters, I would imagine.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
where they went, yeah. But I did have Frankie with me every step of the way, and he, especially yesterday, was quite a difficult day for him in the heat, with me on my lap. And of course, everybody that walked by, oh, what a sweet puppy. Can I? No, you can't hold him. No, please don't touch him. He's overheated. I don't know what he's going to do. However, there were other people there with emotional support dogs at each of the tent areas. So if there were children or even adults, whoever, these dogs are trained to sit there, and you can pet them, talk to them. You know, they don't, you know, they're there for comfort.
Yeah, emotional support dogs.
Yeah, I thought that was special. That they're all over the relief center for people. And I even have, there was one boy that I did allow to hold Frankie. He touched my heart. It was while I was waiting my turn at the Allstate tent. He has Down syndrome. And he was talking to me about Frankie, and then he told me about his dog that had passed away and how much he missed her. And it broke my heart. And when he said, can I pet him? I said, you can hold him as long as you let me take a picture of you and my Frankie. And he was like, yeah, okay. And his mom was just smiling from ear to ear. And yes, I have the picture of this boy with my dog, with my puppy. And
yeah, I think that's one that I actually got to see. I noticed, and yeah, it put a smile on my face when I saw that.
Yeah. So, but thank you again, guys, and everybody. I have no idea what the response is to this. You guys might have to can you tell me what everybody's response is to this? Because I can't see anything.
So let me go ahead and elaborate for everybody right now. I'm going to go ahead and grab something real quick.
To kind of explain this.
I literally created my phone to be a Zoom reception for her on a speakerphone on another phone. This is the visual. Okay. Now, I put these two together so she can speak through by dialing in. Zoom was having some trouble for not allowing her to dial in to be able to talk about this. So I actually created another connection via this phone so she can dial my phone and be able to talk to you guys about this. And on top of that, Jules, this is for you.
Okay.
The community has been so heart-touched by this. You've gotten so many responses in chat with hearts.
Yeah.
We've got a hashtag that's been going on here that...
You're definitely going to have to go back and view
when
the
you see
chats.
this again. Now, okay, I'll preface this even further back.
Because Zaiden's, when you rewatch Zaiden's streams, the chat's not there.
On some of them, I did correct some of them, but
okay.
So just an FYI, the hashtag that I'm showing here is hashtag Julie Bella Hero. Now, again, I know what you're thinking, Jules.
No.
We got several heroes out there, and I know that. All right, you're one of many. But the point here is that you are one of many. We need to recognize not just you. I mean, you need to be recognized, but also everybody else that also is included to come together in the community. So I would even go a step further and do like a hashtag to whoever, the community with Jules in this collaborative effort. So Jules,
Well,
the thing is,
I
it
would
takes.
like a hashtag Zaiden rocks, hashtag Gina
Oh, God.
rocks,
Oh,
No.
hashtag Keith is my hero.
Right.
yes.
Right.
I'm not the hero in this.
I completely understand, Jules. I know.
I'm just telling you a personal experience.
Right.
I just want people to be aware. I want the false narrative that's out there that I was told the day that I was traveling back. Now, here's an FYI for everybody in the chat. I shared my location on my phone with Zaiden and Gina, my friend Chris, and my son. So this way, they would know how long it took me, what route I took, and if I actually arrived. Because that's the dangerous situation. And for somebody that is not even of this area, not a resident of Florida, just not a resident, period.
So
There's no traffic. Traffic is fine. Everything's opened up. No, that was false. It continues to be false because of the fast street signs. Check it out, folks. You think you know your neighborhood? When the street signs are gone, and when I say gone, I mean they don't exist. You can't find your way around your own neighborhood.
Let's just elaborate on that for a second, because when you first came into your neighborhood, you said you passed your house and didn't recognize that you were at your house.
Yep, that's the truth. I drove
You got
right
lost.
past my own house. And it wasn't until I got to the one street that did happen to have the street sign on it, and that's when I realized I just drove past my own house, and I had to go around the corner and come up the back street, and come around and really creep and crawl to find my own house. So, it's little things like that you don't even think about until it's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have preached it any better than that.
It's even the little things.
Yep.
It's from the big things to the little things, they all matter. And so I just wanted the truth to be spoken, and I wanted people to be aware. This is not about me. It's about my community as a whole.
That is such a selfless heart. I mean, that's a good thing to say. Selfless heart. It means you're such a loving, caring person that you don't really focus on your own loss, but you're focusing on everybody else around you to help them in the midst of their loss. And that's just part of it.
Yeah, but truth be told, Zaiden, I wouldn't go as far as calling it being selfless. I think what it was for me, because emotionally, physically, mentally, when I walked into what I walked into, I checked out. I checked out on myself. I couldn't deal. I didn't want to deal. So I said, I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. And that's when I went on my journey and talked to people and drove the neighborhood and took the pictures and the videos. And it was an escape mechanism for me until yesterday when I was forced to deal with my situation, and then I still floundered. And as I said, Cassie put me in touch with Andy, which was the perfect person to guide me in how to deal with the situation with the landlord, and little things here and there, and it's going to be baby steps, but I'm going to do it. My community of Popcorn Planet, Nerd Report, Zaiden's, this whole community is enabling me to financially do what needs to be done for myself. I am ever so grateful for that. And I will get through this.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
I will get through it. Now, tonight...
Yeah, Amy P says, keep the faith, Julie. You're not alone, darling. God will get you through this.
We're getting a lot of hashtags that say, we love you, Julie.
Amen.
Yeah.
But I did go drive down the road to go get my friend Terry to pick her up from her job to take her home. That's the one that lost her car in the flood.
Right.
And I ran over something in the road. It was dark. I don't know what I ran over, but whatever I ran over hit really hard the undercarriage of my car. And something is wrong with it. Chris is coming over tomorrow to get under it, to look to see exactly what I did. And he said, no more being a taxi. The car's got to sit until, it could be looked at. I think it may have been part of a tree. Like, there's still debris.
Yeah.
If it wasn't dark out, and if I was able to FaceTime you guys, I would walk outside and show you what the streets look like. That's another thing that people don't realize. The debris is piled on the curbs, on the street, so high that when you're coming down a side street to either cross over or make a turn or whatever, you literally have to inch your way out into the intersection in case there's an oncoming car, because you can't see.
Right.
And to see
that's
people's
hard.
personal belongings, all their furniture, everything is still out on the street. So, something could have fallen into the street, small enough that my headlights certainly didn't catch it, but I ran over it and it was big enough to cause a boom. And yeah. Anyway.
And people were questioning and wondering why, even in the first or second day after the storm, and when even the emergencies people couldn't get on the road soon enough, people were like, well, why can't they be released? Why can't they start sooner? That's why in the dark, there's so much everywhere, disaster everywhere, that they wouldn't be able to get to the location to fix places.
You don't have street lights. You don't have anything to help guide you along the way.
You don't want the truck breaking down before it can get to the telephone cables.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That is absolutely the truth.
Or the curfew times. Why do we have to be in so early? Because the roads are still dangerous.
So safety. So you're not out there trying to get curious and trying to be a savior or whatever it is in your mental, complexity. You're really doing damage to yourself and others just by going out there without being safe. So that's got to be at least part of it, a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's and there's a lot of children. Our schools are still not open. I have two schools across the street from me. One diagonal, like I can literally I could walk to that school in 2 minutes. That is still not open. There's been damage there. And then the second school, that one is probably about half a mile down the road. That one is not open. The mall, that's where all the staging area is. And you want to know why it's there? Because half the mall is gone.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Dillard's doesn't exist anymore. I mean, when I saw that, it was like, holy crap! I cannot believe. Yeah. Excuse me. There are places that just don't exist anymore, and in Charlotte County, we were fortunate. Don't take this the wrong way, but we only had 2 losses of life in my county. In Lee County, that's a whole different story.
Oh my God.
That number continues to rise. I'm not even going to give you the number because it's...
Well, let me put it on another perspective here real quick. So we were just talking about Port Charlotte and communities surrounding Port Charlotte, right? In Charlotte County?
Right.
All right. So what you're about to mention here, or are mentioning, is the magnitude of how much worse it is south of you.
Correct.
So the magnitude of the devastation you're experiencing with, let's say, the mall, for example, is minute in a way if we're comparing this to, like, say, Fort Myers going southbound. Is that right?
Yes. Fort Myers and Naples, especially Fort Myers, the people that lived on the water that chose to stay.
Right.
They were devastated. Sanibel Island.
Oh yeah, that was one of the worst.
The bridge is completely gone. So that island is cut off. They had to send the Coast Guard over to rescue people
by helicopter
from Sanibel Island.
Yeah.
So yes, I gave you what happened just in my community. Now, picture all the surrounding communities. This storm was huge. It was the same storm as Hurricane Charlie. Same magnitude, same exact path. However, the difference is Hurricane Charlie could have fit in the eye of Hurricane Ian.
That's how much bigger this thing was.
Wow.
There is literally an image that shows Hurricane Charlie fitting into the eye of Hurricane Ian. That blew my mind as to the magnitude. Like you were saying, Julie, how much bigger and vast this hurricane was and how much damage it caused on a vast scale. It was just, you can't really process unless you're there.
You can't. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this with you tonight.
And I thank you for this, Julie.
That is the reason. Because you can't process it. So take my community, take everything I have told all of you, and multiply that by hundreds of other communities that have been affected by this hurricane.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, not to mention that it went through Puerto Rico before it even got here. And that's another thing. People seem to forget that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, folks. It's a U.S. territory. And those people are being ignored. Let that sink in for a minute.
You're looking one with nothing but blood from Puerto Rico, which is my wife.
Yep. I have family down there.
The really interesting point to that is they're very limited on the means of when it comes to technology and power. They were still without power since Hurricane Maria hit. And that was 75% of the island as of before the recent hurricane that hit them.
Right.
And that recent one was a Category 1 hurricane that rained and just caused a bunch of flooding, which just basically said, let's hit the reset button and right back to where we were in Hurricane Maria. So you're not kidding, Jules. And we're planning on actually visiting that area actually sometime over Christmas, the Christmas holiday, and it still to this day is devastated.
Yeah, that was.
But the sad part about it is that people don't realize, or they're ignorant, or they just don't understand that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's a U.S. territory. It belongs to the United States. It's part of the United States. The citizens of Puerto Rico basically are U.S. citizens that are being ignored. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
Very wrong.
Yeah, there's a unfortunate side to this that's political that I believe is very wrong. And I think we can take a good hard lesson, especially from Jules here, because you're in a community where we're helping each other out. That is what this country should be about. This is what our communities and our politics should come together and agree and say, hey, everybody needs to be helping each other, not ourselves.
Okay, that's true.
Some of our church mission teams.
I want to let everybody know about your neighborhood because I
go ahead.
witnessed this myself being in Tampa. The first day after, because I was there the day, I was at ZaidenOMG the day the hurricane was starting to roll into the Tampa area.
That's right.
And the following day, I also drove to Gina and Zaiden's home, and when I drove through the neighborhood, all of their neighbors were outside, and they were all helping each other clean up. What did I say to you when I came into your house? Do you remember?
I don't remember verbatim, but I remember how awe-inspired you were by it.
I was. Because this is a sight you don't see every day.
Yeah, that's it. A sight you don't see every day. That's incredible to me because that's what our hearts are built on, is to be able to give to each other. That's what a community is supposed to be. I can't fathom people being selfish, only holding to themselves when you know a community is in need like this. So even in minuscule things like our area here in Tampa, our worst case scenario was mainly branches, maybe some wind damage here and there, right? So, but that did still cause some debris, and there are some individuals that can't really clean up after that mess. Like you have your elderly, you have your disabled. You have all of that. So it really is so important to have a community mindset and a selfless heart when it comes to this. Forget the fact that we're dealing with not just a catastrophic hurricane, but just normal everyday. Hey, let me help the elderly lady through a door or something. Just simple things like that are ignored. And then you go back all the way down to the catastrophic events. What are you going to do when you pass a neighborhood, when you see it's completely devastated? Are you going to just keep driving through and saying, I got better things to deal with? Or are you actually going to think, oh, I got to do something? This is really a big battle for your heart to deal with.
It is. It's not just for your heart to deal with. It's for your brain. Your brain can't.
You're speaking what I
comprehend
normally
it.
say. Yeah. So you always have to be responsible, morally responsible with your mind, not your heart. If you let your heart control what your mind does, then you're being more immorally responsible or morally irresponsible. I agree with you.
Yes, and that's why it needs to be pointed out. And I would like to take this opportunity to say that our internet community stepped up and helped me, and by helping me, they are helping others as well.
That's awesome.
Ripple effect.
I am honored beyond belief, the generosity and the love and the caring that everyone has shown me, and these are people that I have never met before, other than you and Zena. I mean, and yet they've done it. They rallied. You know, you rallied them. Lewis rallied them. Cassie rallied them. Keith certainly rallied them. And I will forever be grateful to those who did the rallying and to those that did the donating.
Let
Just
me
know from the bottom of my heart, I am very grateful to
Awesome.
each and every one. And the ones that could not help out, you did. You did help. You helped by listening. You helped by sending your love, by sending positive thoughts, by sending prayers. You helped. Every single one of you helped in your own way. Thank you.
That's awesome. Wow. Jules, let me ask you a question. If you were to want Lewis or Andy to clip any of this video, would you give them permission?
Sure. I don't have a problem with it.
All right, and this message goes to Andy Signor as well as Lewis Lecca. You all have permission to clip whatever you need out of this video to share how important this is to the community. So there you go.
And you know, Lewis has been keeping in touch with me. He knows my service is spotty. I do want to say to the community, I know everybody has been messaging Lewis about me and what's happening. Lewis can't answer those questions, okay?
Guys, he's in California, y'all.
Because he can't. I could only get to him when I could get to him, and the information was limited.
Right.
But Lewis has helped me in more ways than you guys can possibly imagine. And Andy helped me today, gave me great advice that I am absolutely taking his advice, and I'm doing the steps that he has suggested me to do, and how Andy had pointed out to me, you're okay. You're gonna be okay. If we have to start a GoFundMe, we'll do a GoFundMe.
What an awesome guy.
But you
Wow.
need to do things. You need to do things A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z. These are the steps you need to take. And I am eternally grateful to Andy and Popcorn Planet as well for the advice, because he does not know me the way Lewis knows me. He does not know me the way you know me. Okay? He is what I would say, an outsider looking in. So he could see things more from an unemotional point and just, and these are his words. I know I might be sounding kind of crass here right now, but this is how it is, you know?
Right.
And he laid it out. Andy laid it out. And he was right. Oh yeah, I lost all my shoes. You can buy new shoes. Because that was as far as I had gotten that first day, was the closet and my box of mementos. Okay,
Yeah, but
so
we were even concerned about you walking in just the chanclas, your flip-flops, because of everything that could be on the ground, glass shattered and stuff.
Well, yeah, wasn't I on the phone with you when I said something?
Yes.
Yes, okay, yeah.
We were actually asking you what kind of shoes you had
we're like,
on
you gotta
at the
put some
time.
other protective shoes on.
Yeah, that's all I have. That's all I have is a pair of
God
flip-flops.
bless you. Wow.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Like, Andy made me see the light today. I've got to take the steps I have to take. And, I've got to broach it with the landlord. His advice was great. I wrote everything down that he told me to do, and I'm going to do it. So yes, it is what it is. If I get to stay, perfect. If the work that needs to be done, I'm taking the initiative to start the work for the landlord before she even gets here. I've taken pictures of the before.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she gets here, it's not going to look perfect, but it certainly isn't going to look the way it looked when I got here on Wednesday. And I'm going to show her. This is what I paid out of my pocket to have done for you. What are you going to do for me? Is there any way we can work this out where if there's you could see on the outside of the house that, where I don't know the technical terms for it, but that metal thing that goes across where your roof is, whatever it's called.
The gutter
it's
or the eaves trough?
Curled up, and a piece of the eave, is off. And
yeah, I know what you're saying.
there are things that I can't do, and I won't do, but I'm showing her I took the initiative to do this. So you have to take care of that. Can we work out a way where you can remediate what needs to be done and allow me to stay? Because according to her, in her own words, I was an excellent tenant. Never had a problem with me. My rent was paid on time for a year and a half. You took my rent. I want to curse so bad, Zaiden, but I'm respecting you and Gina.
You're doing fantastic, Jules. Let me tell you, I'm giving you some serious respect right now for holding it in.
You took my rent for October, and the next day you effing send me a termination of lease notice and an order to vacate in 7 days. But,
wow,
like Andy says, try and work with her.
Plus, you're talking about a whole, several counties and stuff that are affected. We don't know how many other houses that need to be repaired in general, let alone that she may have. So that's not a 30-day house flip. That could take a year plus for some of these places to get repaired and finally rented out again. How much money are you losing that way? Wouldn't she prefer to just keep you as a tenant than expect to even have an increase a year down the line? It just doesn't make sense that way.
I know this. I don't.
So you have that working to your benefit to, fight with it in those words.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to have an attitude. I'm not going to show my frustration. I am going
Oh yeah,
to
just
be gentle and kind and
wise
mind
words.
my words
Very wise
and
words.
see if I can see if I can get through to her. And I will have a list of people, names and numbers and what they do for a living that she can contact, that I can tell her, I know these people personally. They will not scam you. They will not, you know.
Yeah, and that's
they
half the
won't do
battle
it.
in itself. That's a lot of work just researching good quality people to fix, you know, all the constructors and everything, all the contractors. That takes time and work. So she should appreciate that in itself.
So, yeah, you would think she will, but I'll let you guys know next week, because supposedly she's flying in from Australia on Thursday. Ain't that a kick in the head?
Yeah, so just an FYI, everybody, we're going to be out of town during that time frame, but Jules, do not let this stop you from communicating with us, because we do have ears in the community, and we want to make sure that we stay in tabs with you during this process. So, so I just wanted to point that out.
Absolutely. I did not know you were not going to be in the area, but no.
Sunday we're leaving in the morning,
absolutely will.
FYI.
And as soon as I can get those videos to you, I will. Telling you, I'm giving you a heads up. Please view them first before you do anything with them. Edit what needs to be edited. And, you know, you could put it together any way you want. I'm going to send you all the stills, all the videos, and, you know, I will continue to talk to people as in the coming days, and, you know, and to be able to give you, you know, an update in the progress of Port Charlotte and the community, if you'd like me to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to know more.
This is huge. Honestly, this is the kind of story we'll call it a story because really it tells, or documentary. We can call it a documentary. It really tells a tale of what needs to be told firsthand on the ground when we're dealing with an aftermath of such a catastrophic event. So there's huge respect right now, and I know the community is going to agree with us on this, that your reporting on this, even though it's affecting you directly, is detrimental to be told, because this story is not being told elsewhere.
No, it's not.
And I think it's even that much more important. Straight up.
It is. It is. And, you know, when you see the videos, when I say, well, let me interview you, these are folks I know, and they'll start laughing. Julie, what the heck? You know, what are you doing? You'll see.
How much editing do I have to do? How much editing do I have to do, Jules?
You got some editing to do, especially when it comes to the video, the interview with John DiMartino. That was, you'll know.
I'm sure I will.
And when I saw him today, he goes, "You interviewing anybody today, Julie?" I said, "Not today." But
it's going on HBO or something local.
And Jim said to me, "Julie, what's this? I hear you were interviewing everybody." And I was like, "Yeah. You even interviewed John Bronner. That, you know, he's the owner of the Hive." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Let me tell you something. Why didn't you interview me?" I said, "Well, you weren't around." I said, "What's the big deal?" He goes, "John didn't tell you whose idea it was to serve hamburgers and hot dogs and give them out for free, did he?" I said, "I guess it was your idea." He goes, "Exactly." I said, "Okay, when you come to the house tomorrow for the cleanup," I said, "we'll do an interview. How's that?" He goes, "Okay."
All right.
Because these are the kind and he stayed at the bar
during the whole hurricane?
During
Wow.
the hurricane, and he told me part of his story, and I was like, "You're kidding? Why did you?" He goes, "John needed somebody here," and he said, "So I said I'll do it," and yeah, he said it was crazy. And when the awning, I was like, "All right, save it. Don't tell me anything, but save it for tomorrow, and then we'll get it on video tomorrow." You know, the experience of what he went through. You know, manning the bar to make sure that no one broke in and looted, or to make sure, well, he put his own life at risk, but that's Jim for you. But
wow.
This is the community I live in.
And a fantastic community. I mean, how many people out there will sacrifice the shirt on their back and do these things that are necessary for someone to survive? So this is huge. I mean, even though for some it may seem little, but it is that detrimental. It's that huge when even you think it's that small. You're affecting so many people in such ways that will be just unforgettable. I honestly commend him for doing that. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and when I was interviewing John, the owner of the Hive, inadvertently, this is actually a very funny story, inadvertently, somehow, some way, John's keys ended up in Frankie's carrier. I get home.
Your puppy's carrier.
My puppy's carrier. Somehow, because Frankie never left my side. He was with me everywhere. And so, yeah, you know the green carrier. Yeah. I did not find the keys. I did not notice the keys until yesterday morning. And I'm like, whose keys are these? And we're talking a lot of keys. And I'm like, where the hell did these keys come from? And I'm looking at them and I'm saying, okay, where were you? And I was like, okay, the only place you actually went to was the relief center and the Hive and my home and Terry's home. So when her husband came home, I was like, Matt, are these your keys? He was like, no. I was like, okay. I know they didn't come out of my house. Well, let me go to the Hive. So I went to the Hive yesterday morning, and I walked in, and Tessa was working. I said, Tessa, did anybody report missing keys? And she's like, yeah, John's keys. And I went, oops. And she's like, you have them? I said, I showed her. I said, are these his keys? She says, oh, God. They're his keys. He's been going crazy. He thought somebody stole the keys and was going to rob the place. I said, I'll call Darcy. That's his wife. And I got Darcy on the phone. I was like, Darcy, I made it up. She's like, what happened? I have John's keys. And she said, thank God it was you. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, we all thought it was Pepper. Jim told me that the same thing today, that they thought it was this guy Pepper, and they were nervous on what was going to happen with the keys. So they were like, everybody was like, thank God of all people to have his keys, it was me. And I was like, and today was his birthday, and I did see him briefly today, and I said, are you mad? He said, absolutely not. I am so relieved that it was you. I was like, okay. That was another lighthearted moment in the middle of this mess.
Yep. Wow.
So anyway, I think I have taken up enough of your time and enough of the chat's time. I hope I didn't bore anybody.
Actually, we have a question for you, too. It looks like a lot of people are actually kind of interested here. I'm thinking I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of individuals here. How can we help? How can we help you and your community if we can either come to the community or from a remote point of view?
You know, Zaiden, I would consider it an honor if you and Gina, now Paige will be, so you know, everybody knows Paige will be down here on Sunday.
Yeah.
And she will be down here on Sunday. I would love if you and Gina would come down, and I would love to show you around the neighborhood. You know, and hopefully things will have improved by the time, you know, you guys come down. But, you know, I know you're not into the whole alcohol thing, and I get that, but I would love to bring you over to the Hive just to meet those people, just to see how everyone interacts with everyone. You know, I mean, I would love that. For anyone that's not in the area, honestly, I don't have an answer to that question. I would not begin to know. I don't know. The only thing that I could tell you is that the generosity that was shown towards me, I am, yes, I am taking care of my needs with that generosity, but I'm sharing that as well. You know,
Right.
I'm going to pay it forward in that sense. Other than that, I honestly don't have an answer. But if a natural disaster happens in your own areas, take this as a learning lesson, maybe, and do what you can in your own community when your community needs it. I don't know. I'm the wrong person to ask that question. Yeah.
Well, here's why I think it's a valid question, because there are people that have resources, right? And I'm talking like website resources, donation resources. You know, they have these answers on almost a political spectrum. And of course, like Red Cross or whatever, which I believe is just, to me, it's still not quite personal enough. How can you directly affect individuals like yourself in this situation? Like, for example, I posted your Cash App, and I'm not going to lie, I've done that a couple times. Now, there's been some bugs with it for some people that already are aware of this. I did put the QR code as well on screen a few times to make sure that people can at least take their camera on their phone, hover it around that QR. It should automatically post or generate a URL for you to be directed to be able to donate accordingly. Now, that doesn't mean you know, this isn't something that's selfish or whatever, but this is one way of helping. Another way is how Jules is kind of explaining, is how we can come to the community or whoever to kind of get more of a personal hands-on help where it comes to, or just, you know, personal donations or whatever. You know, how can you do things even minutely to help in a community? This is one of them. This is one way to do it. We can donate to one individual that can maybe make a difference in that community, or to anybody for that matter, right? So someone like Jules, we can come out there into the community that are close enough to be able to do so. We can come out there and actually do some, even if it's the smallest things of one house cleaning up debris. I think this is huge. That adds up.
The debris thing is definitely huge.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
That is huge. But also, you know, I have as soon as that debit card gets here, I can't wait for that debit card to get here. I have the canned goods that I bought in Tampa, so I'm good with that. But you know, I had everything that was in my freezer and my refrigerator, I had to obviously dispose of.
Yeah.
So I can replenish. Now, the elderly man that I told you that lives 2 doors down with the situation with the carpet, well, tonight, my next door neighbor, Kimberly, she went out and she got Chinese food and she shared her meal with him.
That's incredible.
these are, you know, and once I get on my feet, and once I know that if I get to stay here or not, Jim, the other elderly man on the other corner, I never met him before. We know each other from when I would go, when Lexi was still alive, and I would go for a walk with her if he was outside. You know how you pass somebody and you just give a wave and you keep going?
Yeah.
That's the extent of my knowledge of Jim until Wednesday. And then he said, come sit on my porch. Do you want some water? And he didn't know me. He really didn't know me other than what I said. If you need a meal, if you need a shower, you can't stay in the house without power. I had AC going here. I'm okay. This side of the road was okay. Just come and knock on the door. That's on video. You'll see that for yourself.
I believe it.
And here, this man was cutting tree limbs to put out on the curb. So I would like to cook this man a nice Italian dinner and bring it to him. Just because he offered. Just because he offered that.
Wow. How incredible is that? Just for something as simple. Some people look at this as simple, but that's huge. To be able to take care of these limbs that are on the ground or over someone's house or whatever. Those small things help an individual or individuals to be able to progress further with their healing and their rebuilding, and we need those stepping stones. We really do. And I think, Jules, man, this is such great. I would like to say reporting, but it's
Zaiden, someday we're gonna be that age. Damn, I'm close to it now.
Man.
That could
with
be
a walker with weird colored tennis balls.
And that could be us with no
Or cotton
family
balls.
and no one to help, no one to care,
Right.
no one to bring us a meal.
Right.
You know, that could
Right.
be us someday. No, we've got to help our elderly.
Yes,
and
we
I'm
do.
not saying that
And your
because I'm a
Benjamin
person.
Buttons.
Yeah, so Gina. So essentially our elderly that start out young as elderly growing into a younger generation. I wish everybody could grow younger. That would be fantastic. But in reality, that is a very true point. I mean, you got all these individuals that are elderly that can't take care of themselves as much as they used to. And one day we'll eventually probably run into that. But while we have the opportunity to be able to help, this is a great opportunity to kind of showcase that. So we have some dignity to be able to say, hey, my heart and my mind, we're communicating as one to help others selflessly in these situations. And you can say this to your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, please, as you grow up, know that there are communities out there that need your help no matter how small. It leaves an imprint.
Exactly. Oh, and see, right now, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. People complaining that the linemen aren't working fast enough, hard enough, whatever. Guess who is outside of my house right now? I wish I could show you that. But I've got linemen working right now, trying to restore power on the other side of the street.
Wow.
What time is it? 2 a.m.?
It is 2, 2.
It is
over
literally
2 in the morning.
2:05 a.m. Yep.
Okay?
Eastern time.
Wow.
And there they are. There they are.
And they're
Their trucks are on the other side of the street. The cones are on the roadway. There is 1, 2, 3 trucks. Hey, guys. Thank you.
How much lighting is there?
Do you need any water?
God bless Julie, man.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Wow.
There's 12 of them.
Wow.
That's incredible. Did they have, like, when they approached, was there any lighting on the road or in that community at the moment? Was there any lighting?
On my side.
Okay.
Yeah, on my side. On my side. Now they're working on the other side.
Okay.
Up, and here comes another one. Here comes truck number 4. Up,
And
here
that
comes
shows
truck
you
number
how
5.
sporadic and different.
Wow.
You're just saying on your side of the road, and the opposite side still doesn't have power. That's
That is
sporadic and God bless. Boy, that yes.
They're coming like a cavalry right now, aren't they?
They are. And did you hear him when I said, do you need water? And he's like, no, thank you, ma'am. We're good. Did you hear him?
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
They don't, I mean, well, that tells me that they're taking care of each other and the community's taking care of them. One of the two.
And what people have to remember is these men and women left their families to be here
Yeah.
to help us. Okay?
That is also a great point.
When I say show respect, I'm not talking to my chat family. I'm hoping that others see this video, others from the state of Florida and whoever else experiences this kind of thing. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't speculate on what's happening unless you have facts. And the facts are these men and women are working round the clock. 16-hour days.
Yeah.
In the course of that 16-hour days, they have an overlap. So there's 24 hours a day since the day after the storm. It took them a day after. They didn't get here until a day after the storm.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's not just Charlotte County. They had to do. They're working Lee County, DeSoto County, Sarasota County, and I also believe parts of Manatee County as well. So, dude, these guys deserve respect.
Yeah.
They deserve respect.
And yeah, coming from everywhere and working hours upon hours on minimal energy because, they're probably even trying to ration the water. They shouldn't, but they're probably even trying to do that, ration those kind of things and working hard at it, staying steady at it. They need to get so many more things.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what, and earlier today, there was a parade of 8 of them. As a matter of fact, I was on the phone with my cousin Lisa. You all know Lisa JD. I was on the phone with her, and Jim was here, and we were talking about, how to remedy things in the house and what he, how he feels that I could save certain things and blah, blah, blah. And there was like a caravan of at least a dozen of the linemen driving down the road, and I'm yelling, thank you, and they're beeping the horns. They beeped the horns because they knew, and waving to them saying thank you. Then yes, thank you. Of course, my friend Jim was like, why are you thanking them? Well, I had power because of them men, that's why.
Right. God bless these guys. Oh my gosh.
He was just joking when he said that, though. Jim can be a real smart ass. But he was just joking. But yeah, it's the same thing. Remember when we were kids and the semi-tractor trailers would go down the road and we'd, pump our fists and they'd blow the horn in acknowledgement?
Yeah.
Or are you too young?
No. I remember those days. Trust me. I was a kid when that.
Your cousin's saying that she loves you too.
Yeah, Lisa said she loves you.
Lisa. I love her. We had a great Her and I had a great chat today.
Well,
we really did. I was able to
She wanna
actually
come
speak
in?
with her on the phone, and yeah, we had a great chat.
sorry, Lisa. I gotta. What I'm about to mention
She was inspiring.
is gonna be
What
kind
was
of
that,
funny.
Zaiden?
So whenever you do get internet, okay. So when that takes place, rewatch our video on Wednesday evening. It'll make you laugh. It will make you probably fall on the ground and laugh. It was that funny. So if you want to have a little enjoyment, watch Lisa and us have a little bit of fun. Turning me red like a tomato for
What did
one.
my cousin do? Just out with it. What did she do?
Being her rascally rabbit self.
That doesn't
That's the
surprise
best way to explain it.
Miss
The
Bunny.
rascally rabbit. That you can't get any better. Gina well said.
Soon as I get internet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when I have downtime from the cleaning crap, yes, I will be catching up on. I've missed. Gosh, I have missed a lot.
I'm sure. Oh my gosh.
And everybody misses you. That's a lot of the comments too. They were just so happy, glad to hear that you're doing okay, that you're on here. They've been anticipating and waiting to hear from you, and it's just touching their hearts to be able to hear that you are safe. So,
Yep. And
I am safe. I'm blessed. I'm truly grateful. I'm going to be okay. A few days ago, I didn't think I was going to be okay. Keith helped me get through that, and I'm going to be okay. Whether I get to stay here or if I end up in Tampa with my son, I don't know. It's one day at a time. I got through today. That's accomplishment right there. So I'll get through tomorrow. But pass the word. You know, if someone would go into the, gosh, I miss my Telegram group. I really miss my Telegram group.
I bet. Oh my gosh.
Considering that Louis put me in charge of it, and here I am, how many days out now? I have had no communication. So if someone in the chat or wherever, however, please let Nerd Report know. My Lisa and Keith, they know what they need to do.
They're saying hashtag Jules is a superwoman. That's Lisa.
No.
That's Lisa.
Just let everybody know I'm good.
yeah, did you
And that I
see, Zaiden?
appreciate.
Lisa said cotton for Gina. Okay, look. Hashtag cotton for Gina. Let's just. I know everybody's probably gonna want to know what this is, but watch the video for that happened Wednesday night. You'll understand everything about hashtag cotton for Gina. I can't even look at the camera straight every time I see. Oh my god.
Zaiden, you didn't see my comment. I said my wonderful Clark Kent Superman
See that.
and Jules being the Supergirl reporters of today.
Yes, Loopy Miracle said
I
that.
just
Jules said,
want
or
people
Gina
to
said that.
know the
Yeah.
truth. That's all. I want people to know the truth. That's all
Yep,
it
amen.
is. I just want people to know the facts. Don't take information from someone that speculates on what they think is happening here when they're not even here.
Right. Yep.
That's all.
100% agree. So I did promise everybody one thing, that before the end of the show, we will do something for you. And one of them includes free the hair. So I currently have my Superman head cap on with headset. So I did promise everybody I would free the hair. So I'll do that in honor of Julie and her courage.
Free that hair.
How many people want to see the hair be freed? Hit 1 in the comments. Let's see it. Because I'm about to go wild here in about 2 seconds. Let's see it in the comments. Free the hair for Jules. Who wants to see it?
Free the hair.
Free the hair for Jules. Who wants to see it? I know you guys want to see it. Come on now. Come on now. You can't let us down, guys. All right. I know you won't let us down because it's like a 20-second delay.
How many are watching? Do you know?
Yeah. Last I checked, we've got at least 53 views. Honestly, when people wake up in the morning and see this, it's gonna skyrocket. I'm gonna guarantee this is gonna skyrocket.
We'll see.
I know it will because I even gave Lewis and Andy Signor permission to actually clip this video as well. So here we go. I'm gonna go and take off my headphones and then the cap, and then we're gonna free the hair. You ready?
Perfect.
All right, here we go. So Gina, you're the one that's witnessing. As soon as I take these off, I can't hear nothing. All right, let's break it down.
And he's off. Let's see. Oh, it's lifted. Going wild. That was coming to you. Here we go. Yeah. What?
This is for Jules. Woo! Man,
hey, it's just going wild, and he promised everyone all the more to raise for you.
Yes, that was.
It's pretty wild of him.
A wild moment. My brain hurts. I've let me tell you, that was just the small part of me that gets wild.
Oh, okay. All right. I still want to know how does Gina feel when her husband gets so many requests to free the hair. I think that's a valid question.
I think that's a behind the curtain question.
Or under the sheets.
But hey, elaborate what you can. Let's just leave it at that. This is an open forum now, Mrs. Gina. In case everybody wants to know the green screen on her. She's like half invisible on the green screen. It's really interesting.
I keep tuning out, like blurring out.
Go ahead, Jen.
And he's on the other side, or else I'd be running my fingers through the hair right now too.
All right.
So true. Gotta leave with a good note. Oh. Pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Yes, do not let your Toto come behind and pull the curtain back. You may regret it. Or like, I don't know how you guys want to perceive it, but whatever. Anyways, thank you so much, Jules, for telling every aspect of this story on your point of view, because it is so detrimental for everybody to understand what this means on the ground. First person point of view that is experiencing this dead on. So I just wanted to take a personal note and thank you for that.
Me to do it.
Absolutely, you're welcome. We all owe you. I'll say not owe, but we'll just say, well, thank you. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing.
No, thank you. And thank everybody in the chat and everyone that's not in the chat, but everywhere else that have taken care of me. And there are two people that I definitely need to get with privately, but I just don't have the service to be able to do it right now. But I intend to do that.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well,
Do we have any reasons for crickets?
oh boy.
Uh-oh. Do I even want to know?
Well, okay. That does segue into probably our closer. So after we're done here, we'll probably end up closing shop here in a moment. But I will segue also that this was very important, right, guys? Everybody in the community, this was so important. I would have pushed everything on the agenda for this very reason, because of how important the testimony Jules is presenting right now trumps, or I should say supersedes, everything that I had planned, because it is that important. So let's just point that out. This is just me being honest.
Well, let's just tell what actually happened. I messaged Zaiden today and asked, "Are you going live? Can you make it work? I have something I want to say." And he accommodated me.
You're darn right.
He accommodated me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I knew this was going to be important. I actually didn't know the extent, but I knew it was going to be important. So I knew that the platform was needed for this message. So I would have done it twice, 3 times, 4 times, as many times as needed. So no
Oh
regret.
my God, I don't even know how many times you attempted.
Look, you guys, this has been a process. I've been trying to get her into Zoom by the call-in, every method you can think possible outside of the internet, just to get her online. So what I ended up doing is grabbing a spare phone and have her call in. And I showed you guys, and I'll show you again real quick for those that tuned in.
And it still didn't run that late after midnight. It still ran on time.
I have 2 phones.
amazing.
Her calling me, and then I have this other spare phone that I'm using on the internet for her to call in and communicate to, that is connected to Zoom. So that's what you're seeing right now on the screen. On the screen it says Jules is my spare phone, identified as Jules, because she's calling in to my other phone, communicating with this phone that is connected to Zoom. I hope y'all can follow that, but we did a lot to get her live. So
Yeah. You did.
we got it. We were
You're my
successful.
hero. You're
That's
my
right.
hero.
Fist bumps galore. If you could see me fist bumping. Absolutely, Jules. It was our pleasure to bring you aboard and tell us your story. What's going on? So someone mentioned crickets, so I'll go ahead and earn those crickets.
Okay.
So let's start it off with, what does Peter Parker say when people ask him what he does for a living?
Yeah, I can't do Zaiden zingers.
What does he say?
Web designer.
Ah.
Ah! That's zinger number 1.
Okay, I might give that one laughs.
So, what's the difference between Batman and a robber?
Batman and a Robin? Or Robin?
What's the difference between Batman and a robber? Like someone robbing a bank, for example. Robber.
Something to do with that it's not Robin. I don't know.
Batman can go into a store without robbing.
Ah, see, I was going in that direction.
Oh, man.
You guys are just way too funny.
Why did Spider-Man join the swim team?
Why did Spider-Man join the swim team?
Correct.
Again, you got me to float. I don't know.
Because he had webbed feet. Webbed feet. Get it?
Yeah,
feet.
crickets.
That deserves some significant crickets. I wouldn't blame the chat for doing that. Let's see. Might have another one in here. Have you heard of the Incredible Hulk's new fashion line? It's all the rage.
Oh God!
Oh my goodness. I was thinking along the line, you know, really ripping or something.
Okay, here's another Spider-Man joke. Here we go. Where is the home of Spider-Man the 21st century? Where is the home of Spider-Man in the 21st century?
On the Fox? Where's the home?
The answer is the World Wide Web. World Wide Web. www.
Yeah.
Dot. Gotcha.com.
Maybe that'll be a combo.
Crickets. All right, so I might just do one more. Let's see. You know, I'll do one more. Spider-Man.
Brandon did get it.
Here we go. What do you call it when Spider-Man is involved in a love triangle? A tangled web.
Okay.
All right, that's all.
We'll get that one.
You guys got any last words before we close shop today? We'll start with you, Jules. You have the floor.
Thank you, everybody. I love you. Thanks for having the patience to put up with me for I don't know how many hours this has been. And I really miss you guys a lot. I cannot wait for my internet service to get up and running. Be kind. I always say this, but I mean it. Because when you're kind, it comes back. And all of you have been kind to me. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Jules.
Yes.
You're
Awesome.
welcome.
We're looking forward to seeing more of you. So thank you for coming tonight. We'll be keeping in touch throughout the week. Even though we're on the road, that doesn't stop us from talking. So we'll be keeping in touch. Okay.
Absolutely. Love you, brother.
Love you too, Jules. All right. Gina.
Just supportive to Jules. I'm glad we were able to get this much of a feed. I know everybody was concerned, so this brought some relief. And I hope this is encouraging, not only to you, Jules, back and forth. That's another part of the community, that it's encouraging each other, motivating each other to keep going. And thank you guys for those likes. Share it to grow the community, to have more resources to help each other with. And you guys have a wonderful night or morning, whatever you're turning into, and we'll see you probably in less than 12 hours. We're going to try to jump on again before we get on the road. And we love you guys.
All right. Gina, thank you so much. as you're trying to turn invisible into invisible jet.
See, it's because of the Wonder Woman hat part was really throwing it off too, I think.
Jules, if you could see this, it was actually quite funny. It was like for some reason she was turning invisible in the camera.
Yeah, and then the star would turn blue and then it'd be yellow again. And then, I don't know, now it's not doing it, or is it doing it? I don't know.
So funny. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you both so much for tagging along with us. Thank you, Max, earlier for tagging along. We're going to have tomorrow at noon rush hour time, Eastern time as well, to kind of follow up with our topics. Thank you again, Jules, for bringing your wonderful testimony to us. As much as it was detrimental, it is needed. So thank you once again, Jules, for telling your story. All right.
Anytime, my friend. Anytime.
Awesome. All right. We're going to close shop up, guys. Thank you so much for tagging along. Once again, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button, which helps you get notified with the latest content that comes out from the Gauche. Also don't forget to hit that Linktree, the link for Linktree, which also contains our Gauche Telegram, which you can get involved in the community that way. You can also choose to donate to either through our channel as well as Jules. Jules' link is on there as well. So if you want to help her out, she's, I think, the fourth link down on Linktree. So please take a moment to help her out as well. And one last time, what I'll do is I will go ahead and post her QR code on the screen so you guys can get a quick glimpse of that. And let's do that real quick here. Here it is. So take a moment to QR shot that with your camera. You just take your camera, you just put it into camera mode, hover over it. It will then give you the URL you can go to go ahead and process a donation for her, where she can take it for her community and to help her in her situation and her community out. All right, so thank you everybody for staying tuned to the Gauche. We will see you tomorrow, noon time, well, later today for some. Thank you again for tuning in, everybody. So love you guys. Till tomorrow at noon or today later on. Zaiden out. See you guys.